friends, long time no speak for me at least. I'm not sure if the videos that I've uploaded feel like that, but they're a little delayed. I had Tom's graduation after I filmed that book reorganizing video, and then I've been sort of crashing and recovering ever since, but it was totally worth it. I felt so proud to watch him graduate with his PhD, and he's got a couple of weeks off now until he starts a new contract. So we've just been enjoying time together, resting. The sun's been out, he's been doing his gardening. It's been honestly really lush, despite the health hiccups as always. But I thought we could catch up on books. I have recently read what's the last thing I read? I don't think I talked to you about All Fours, although I'm sure it will come in a wrap up, by Miranda July. That felt like a little bit of a slog, if I'm honest. I didn't love I did enjoy the main characters to start with, but I felt like I didn't sustain interest for as long as the book was. It felt really long on my Kobo, even though I've seen it in person and it doesn't look as long as it felt on my Kobo for some reason. It felt very American and very quippy, which I did like in places, but otherwise I found tiresome, I suppose, and didn't really relate to. I don't really know why I gave it a go. I reserved it at my library. I'm not a fan of the work of Miranda July that I've read in the past, so I'm not sure why I thought this would be different. I guess I gave in to the hype machine. But yeah, that wasn't great. And then I'm currently reading A Separation by Katie Kitamura, which is Katie Kitamura's first novel. I really, really love Intimacies, which was her second one. I've tried to read her most recent one, Audition, a couple of times and haven't been I found it quite hard to penetrate. Like, I haven't really been in the headspace to get on board with it, and my partner also DNF'd it, so I decided to go back to her earlier work. And I've had a couple of friends who've adored A Separation. It's about a secretly divorced couple where the husband goes missing on an island in Greece, and the mother-in-law sends the wife, who is the ex-wife, except she doesn't know it's the ex-wife, out to Greece to try and find him. It's one of those literary sort of atmospheric novels that I am really enjoying at the moment and really find easy to get through, so that's a big plus. I'm doing a lot of knitting when my hands allow. I'm still struggling with a lot of issues with my shoulder and hands, but when I am doing it, it has been relief as always. I'm actually working on something new. This is the Terrazzo neck by Petite Knit. If you're interested, I'm also doing now weekly updates on my knitting on Instagram, like little reels, so if you care about my projects, you can find out more about them in real time there. But this is like a neck or a dicky, so it's like open like this, you wear it over. It's way too hot to put this on today, and then it's going to have a big turtleneck. It's really good for like under big coats in the winter if you want a bit of extra warmth. This is a gift for a friend's birthday. She told me a few months ago that she liked them and seen a few girls wearing them, and so I'm surprising her with one, which is really fun. I love gifting my close friends knits. It feels so joyful, and especially if they are, like my friend who's getting this is a sewist, so she really appreciates craft and what it's worth and is super knit worthy to me. So I just finished also a cardigan for my best friend's like bridal outfit that she wanted, and a blouse of my own. So I'm kind of getting ready to go to Norway to buy new yarn and sort of start over. It feels really good to have like nothing really on my needles. I can finish this in a couple of days, and then I will pick a project for the aeroplane. And yeah, that feels really nice actually. I really like having 2 to 3 knitting projects at a time maximum. Otherwise I get overwhelmed really quickly and I feel like I'm not finishing anything. So that's what I'm knitting on. Other reads, I read Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley on audio. I was surprised to find out this is actually set in the States. I don't know why I really assumed it was a British book when I mentioned it in my radar video. Once I got over that fact on the audiobook, I've really, really enjoyed this. It's the perfect literary, plotty, coming-of-age story following a young woman as she meets a boy at university and sort of falls in love with his music, but critiques it and offers him sort of collaborative songwriting experiences that she never really gets full credit for, and watches his ascent to fame, her falling in and out of love with him, and their messy circling of each other's lives. It didn't feel too frustrating in the sense of like you want to bang her over the head and be like, get rid of this loser boy. She had a bit more depth and backbone to her, which I appreciated. I think I'm over the kind of books about women who are just being walked all over, young women. I think I find that a bit difficult. This had a little bit more substance to it, and I really, really liked it, actually. I just went into it on a whim one day when I was resting in bed and wanted to listen to something, and it really hit the spot. So I'd recommend Deep Cuts if you haven't read it so far. But I'm also in the market for a new audiobook, so I'll see what comes up. I'm fancying some nonfiction. I am actually a couple of essays in, also doing a lot of polyamorous reading at the moment into Sean Faye's Love in Exile. I've read 2 essays so far, and this is so brilliant, and also wins cover of the year for sure. These colours are unreal. These are essays about Sean Faye's personal relationship with love and romance, as well as the political and the politicised idea of being a trans woman in love, and sort of also about heteronormativity and modern women, their place in romantic relationships, and sort of the ideas they've been sold. It's brilliant, it's intellectual, it's smart, it's political. I love Sean Faye's writing. I think she's great. So I'm really, really enjoying that when I have the headspace for it. So those are all my reading and knitting things at the moment. Like I say, we're going on a trip to Norway for my birthday, which might be in this vlog or it might be in the next vlog. So I'm kind of just resting, keeping my head down for that. The bulb's out on my balcony, which is very beautiful, and we're making semi-regular trips to the ice cream shop or getting deliveries from our friends, which is even better. And yeah, life feels good this week, so I will catch you in a bit. My hair looks so fluffy because it's half wet, half dry. I wanted to give you some reading and some wedding updates. I thought I was boring you guys with wedding updates, but a few of you have commented and messaged me on Instagram saying that you're intrigued or invested, which is very kind. The biggest update is I got wedding shoes. I might not have a dress, but I got a pair of shoes. I chose these. My mum helped me pick these and very kindly bought them for me. They're from a Spanish brand, which, please, my better Spanish speaking than me, tell me how we're saying this. Flabellus. I bought, these are like the very fashionable flats that you see everywhere. I actually already own a pair in pink, which I love and adore, and I'm wearing to my best friend's wedding. And what I think is very cute and sweet is that my best friend's also wearing a pair of these to her wedding. So we've both got matching shoes. But yeah, so I bought my mum a pair last autumn. She loves a flat. She's not a heels lady, but she's got places to be where she needs to look chic and cool. Well, she is a very chic and cool dresser anyway. That's where I get it from. So I bought her a pair in burnt orange with a brown trim, which is so cute, and she's worn them loads. And I was like, I kind of want a pair. So then I got myself the pink ones, and then I was like, oh, perfect, these will go with my dress for my green to my best friend's wedding. And I'm not a heels person, obviously, mostly because I'm almost 6 foot tall, and also because heels and heart issues, they don't go well together. I don't recommend it. And I'm, you know what, I'm really glad that we've all collectively gotten over the fact that you need to wear heels to fancy occasions. I feel like most of my friends, ill or not, have much moved past the idea of high heels being the only way to feel like formal. So I'm much for that. Some of the ballet flats I can't abide because they remind me of the ones I used to wear at school. I used to be that girl with like the £10 new look flats that were like disintegrating in my feet when I'd be walking to school in the rain. But some flats, like I have the pointy Ganni ones from a couple of years ago. I love those. They are quite heavy on the feet though, I would say. These, I had a few people message me when I post about them on Instagram, my pink ones, and I have to say these are so comfy. They're so padded inside. So highly recommend. They're sustainable and handmade in Spain. And I might as well just show you the ones. I think the colour will come as no surprise to most of you. But I chose the bright scarlet red with the big, I don't have a strap. My other ones have the little thin Mary Jane strap, and these are the sort of like puffy elastic strap, which I think is so cute. And funny enough, because it's apparently just to cult me, my best friend, and my mum, but my mum is wearing a pair to my legal ceremony wedding, which I think is also very sweet. So these are the ones I went for. I think I'm wearing these both to my UK ceremony, my UK party, and my Dutch ceremony. I'm definitely wearing to the Dutch ceremony, but I might wear the pink ones to our celebration in Brighton, depending on what dress I choose, because I obviously still don't have a dress. But I'm happy to have my Dutch registry office outfit all done. All I need to do is to go and get that tailored, and also the dress I'm wearing to my best friend's wedding I both need, which big boobed gals, you'll know this, but like I always have to buy a dress in a bigger size to fit my chest, but then when you go down to the waist you get that annoying like gapey bit, which really bugs me. I think I need to get a real bra, which is very upsetting. So I don't think I've worn a real bra since like 2019. But yes, I need to go and get a few things fixed, but luckily we have some brilliant local tailors in Amsterdam. Tom uses our local tailor all the time to get stuff fixed. It's very reasonably priced, so I'll pop down there. But that's one thing done. The other thing is I'm going back to the UK for my best friend's hen do, which I'm hosting at my mum's house, because I had 3 Airbnbs cancel on me. I also had 2 cakes cancel on me. It was quite a cursed organising process I was doing with another one of sister's friends, and in the end my mum was like, you can just do it at my house and I'll leave, and I was like, you're an angel. So that's how it's being ended up hosted there, which is fine for me because I get to sleep in my comfy bed, and I just like, my mum has a lovely house and it's very kind of her to share it with us, so we're doing that. But that also means one of Siska's siblings is collecting and delivering. She's obviously coming to the hen do, but she's bringing me Tom's wedding ring, which is a big important quest for her to take, because I had it made by a friend of a friend. It's actually Tom's friend's partner who does jewelry making on the side. She made it, and we're going to collect it, and I've been designing with her since before Christmas, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be sick. I don't know if I'm going to show you guys, just in case there's some way that Tom can find it back to him, but he wanted something quite non-traditional, quite like fashiony. You guys know him a bit, like, and know his style, that he wanted something a bit more, less stereotypically masculine and a bit more funky. So I've organised that, and it's gonna be so cool. I can't wait to see it. I asked him not to send me photos, so I want to see it for the first time in real life, and it'd be fun to open it at, like, with my friends at a hen do. So that's done. I think in the last vlog we went ring shopping for me to look for a wedding band. I found a couple of things I liked. I found one thing I loved that was mega money that we didn't have, that still actually wasn't perfect. It was a square cut emerald lifted, which, because I have my engagement ring is a band, not a single jewel, which lots of people's are like I'm kind of thinking about doing it in reverse, so having a bigger jewel sit next to it, but then I need it to be raised. I know the jewelers in Amsterdam, the antique jewelers, are very friendly, kind. They really made me laugh, because I was explaining my style and how I don't like diamonds, I don't want anything bling, and one of them was like, oh, so you're like a Dutch girl, all the English girls come in here, they're so flamboyant, they want the biggest, they want the loudest, the craziest diamonds that we sell, and the Dutch girls want the quiet and the modest. And I was like, that's a really funny stereotype, and I guess I do. One of the antique jewelers made me try on some diamonds. He was like, just look at it, please, just see how you think. And I was like, just doesn't do anything for me. I just like colours. Anyway, I kind of didn't really find the right thing, and there's not as many jewelers as there are in like Hatton Garden or even in Brighton, so the stock is kind of limited for the style and the price that we have. And part of me is thinking I'm going to wait, I think. So this is an old ring of my grandma's. It's rubies and opals. I've worn it since she passed away, and it obviously means a lot to me, and I'm thinking I might just move that over and make that my wedding band for now, and then wait till we save up a bit more money, or like look, because I know I want something vintage. Obviously you can't just like magic those up, so might wait till we, I don't know, take a trip next year, or we're back in London with friends and we're looking. Like, I don't want to rush it just because of it's like the date that we've set and it has to be then. So yeah, I don't know, I think I might hit pause on that. I'm trying to hit pause on most things that aren't like essential, and that's not essential. I can get married without having the right ring. Like, I love my engagement ring so much, so I also think we could save up and I will get another one, like Ella Stern, to make another ring, and then I'll just have 2 of hers that would like sit in a pair together. So yeah, I spoke it through with my bestie, and I think I'm also with my mum, and I think that's kind of what I'm going for, which means we're basically done. We've got done all our paperwork, we've got our legal date. We just need to go down to our local pub and ask him, the like bar owner that we know and like, to reserve us a couple of tables for friends and family, and then we're finished. So I'm feeling pretty organized. Just trying to think what else I wanted to talk to you about. I've started a new audiobook actually as well. God, this is a ramble. It's called Asian/Other, the problem, and then the byline is something like the problem with memoir. It's published by an indie. I was surprised to find it on audio, and I've only just started it, but it's a mix of poetry and life writing and reflections. There's content warning for suicidality, which I didn't know when I opened it, but so far I'm finding it really beautiful. The author is Tamil Sri Lankan, and now lives in the US but grew up partly in the UK. So it's a lot about sort of cross-cultural heritages, the US versus UK versions of like understanding race and ethnicity in like modern social context, which is obviously, even more stark to read now in the current US context. But I'm really enjoying it, and I really like the sort of the breaks for the poetry on audio that read by the author are so moving. So yeah, I don't have much to say on it yet, but it's very intriguing. I think that's all I have for you. I'm still reading the same books, Katie Kitamura, and I finished Deep Cuts, and I'm still reading Sean Fay. Hopefully those will get finished soon, and I will speak to you after I do a hen do. Hey friends, I think the last thing you would have seen was me at Siska's hen do. It was so wonderful. It was so much fun. I was so in my element because I love decorating and like doing tablescapes and stuff like that. And luckily my mum has very nice tablecloths and pottery, and I carried some flowers all the way back from the Netherlands to put on there, which was also really special, and it was just the best time. Unfortunately, while I was there at some point, and it wasn't a raucous hen do by any means, I'm almost 2 years sober, so I was just chilling, but I was doing a lot of carrying and lifting of furniture and things. I managed to dislocate one of my ribs, so it's been a few days now, but it's honestly been agony. I can't explain to you how painful it is. It's the first time I've done one of my ribs. My shoulders come out of place fairly often, and I've kind of got used to that pain, but this rib pain, and if you've broken a rib or ever done anything to your rib, it's like a really hard thing to like help. Like even if you break a rib, it's not like they put your ribs in casts or anything like that. So it's really shit. Like it's just agony. I've been crying myself to sleep every night because it gets to the point of the day where I can't take any more medication, and I just feel so hopeless and in so much pain. And I think it's just hard to keep going sometimes. I think with illness, like you really feel like I try quite hard to sort of carry my illness lightly and sort of keep moving forward and not letting these things stop me. Like I would hurt myself all over again to do my best friend's hen do. Obviously that's like a once in a lifetime thing, and like I would make myself unwell to be there to celebrate, and just like I will for my own wedding and for her wedding. Like these are things that are part, I think, of my philosophy of the way I live my life with my illnesses and the way my body works. Like I know I can get through most things on just pure adrenaline and a lot of painkillers, which obviously is not a long-term practical thing, but it is, I think honestly that's the kind of optimism that keeps me going. And just the last few days, this pain has been really just like just shit, guys. Sometimes illness is just so shit, and I think it's really hard to, like, you only know what it's like to live in your body, and even other people with illness, they don't we don't individually all know what it's like. And I think, yeah, I just feel really fed up, which is, part of life, part of illness, part of things that we all go through. It's just one of those, just a bad week, just a bad month, just a bad year. Those are the things I tell myself, but it all tends to snowball. And sometimes it just gets all on top of you, and that's okay. I've honestly just been trying to move as little as possible because of the pain, but it's such an awkward position. Like lying down is uncomfortable, sitting up is uncomfortable, like it's just difficult. But yeah, I don't know, I find it hard to strike the balance between like being honest and sort of being honest, and then also like not letting it get the better of you, I guess. It's just hard. I don't really know the point of what else to say, but haven't really been reading or doing much of anything. Tom and I have been watching the new nature series on BBC. It's called The Americas. It's like a nature documentary series, and it's narrated by Tom Hanks, which we both said like it's going to take some getting used to. It's not David Attenborough, but some of the clips are amazing, and I've just been like, that's mostly what he puts on in the evenings when I start to get really upset, because it's very soothing and reading isn't like enough of a distraction. So that's been good. I didn't watch the end of The White Lotus. I just read the spoilers. I gave up on by episode 5. I just don't think this season was very good. I mean, I didn't really like the first season either. I just don't think it's the show for me. And if you follow me on Patreon and listen to my weekly newsletters, you've heard me rant about it. So I'll save you all from that. But I just read about it and then texted my friends and asked them to explain it to me, and then got annoyed. The only like character ending it sounds like I liked from the sounds of it was Piper's. I think that was really funny and kind of like the perfect tragedy, and also so sort of like so typical of like, oh, I'm getting spiritually enlightened, like I care about things, but actually I'm extremely privileged and I can't give that up. Which I think is an experience most of us sort of feel and go through with privilege, as you don't want to be in discomfort. So yeah, that's mostly the telly, but otherwise I've just been watching the hours on the clock, which, we all have those times, I think, whether it's health or anything else that keeps you that way. Wow, there's a man across the road who looks like the granddad from Up, even with the glasses. That's crazy. I can't think what else. Honestly, the brain fog is quite heavy at the moment. Illness. Yeah, I just don't really. Sometimes you don't need to learn a lesson or feel that like switch from that feeling of this is really hard and agony into like, let me find the things I should be grateful for, or let me acknowledge how privileged I am to have someone who's going to help me with my dinner. Like sometimes it can just be shit, and that's okay, and that doesn't make you ungrateful or selfish or anything. Like I think there's a real quick tendency to like look for the positivity in all of these things sometimes, or try and if that helps you, that's fine. But what I hate is other people putting that onto me. Like if I want to cry, I'm gonna cry. So it's been a week of crying, and that's okay. I have been watching actually a lot of Hello Hayes, which I think I've also recommended here before. She has like a modern agony aunt type podcast here on YouTube and on podcast apps, and she also is the inventor of the 6 besties theory, which I love. Me and a couple of my friends have really got into it and love to dissect and talk about it, and talk about the letters that people write in about friendship. I think they're brilliant, and she's so wise and so empathetic, and just so really helped me sort of understand and think a bit more about the things that I should stand up for myself and I advocate for myself with when it comes to relationships. And I think she's brilliant for that. So that's another media thing I've been watching, but no more books to talk about. The next time you'll see me, I'm trying my fucking hardest to get to Norway, even with a rib out of place. I'm just trying to rest as much as possible until we take that trip. It's for my birthday. I'm turning 29, so hopefully I will see you there with a lot of yarn. hopefully some cake, and with my two favourite people in the world, my mum and Tom, and no Tintin, unfortunately, but he was at the hen do, which was a win for everyone. So I will see you all again soon. Bye.